Hey, I've got an old friend on with me, and he's written a book. And let me tell you, this is more than a book. It's really an encyclopedia. It's almost 600 pages, give or take a few here. And wow, is it ever documented? If you've ever wanted to know about the Illuminati, do they exist, who they are, what they're up to, what their goals are, how it's going to affect your personal life, now's the time. You'll want to take some notes. I suggest you get you a pencil and paper. You'll want to find out how to order this book. I mean, oh my, it's a tremendous book. You know, before we begin, though, and I introduce my special guest, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate your listening. You know, it seems to me that I need to thank you ever so often, because it is very true. Without your support, your prayers, and yes, your finances, we couldn't keep Power of Prophecy on the line. A lot of people ask, what would happen if Power of Prophecy went off the air? Well, you know, of course, God can raise prophets from stones. He can do anything he wants to. His mission is not going to end by any means. But nevertheless, I know that God has a destiny for this program, Power of Prophecy. And my good friends, he has a destiny for you. You see, it is no accident that you're listening to this program today, that you're going to learn more, discover some fascinating inside facts, some exposés about the bloodlines of the Illuminati. That's not by accident. God has arranged your life. Every day he has decided what you're going to do. Now, even if you were to reach up and flip the switch, turn off your shortwave radio or your AM, FM radio, or turn it on another station, he knows that too. I hope you won't do that, of course, because this is going to be so very important a program. But God knows. But God has your destiny in mind, your future, and he cares about you. And I believe that's why we're on the air. I have said it many times. I'm going to say it one more time before I introduce my guest, because he has so much to tell you about, and I don't want to take much time from him. But I know this. I know I would not be alive were it not for you. I believe that's why I thank you so much, because you have prayed for me. You prayed for Texe Marrs, for Wanda. You prayed for this ministry. And there certainly are dark forces that would like to keep us off the air, that would like to shut us down. I get letters periodically from people saying, Tex, I listen to this radio station or that radio station, especially on shortwave, and they say, right before your program comes on, the reception is wonderful. And right after your program is finished, the reception is wonderful. But when your program is on the air, somebody goes in and evidently is jamming it, and it's nothing but staticky, and it loses the signal. And they say, how is it that the signal is wonderful except during the hour of Power of Prophecy? And I know the answer to that, because sometimes we have programs on that are so very powerful that the powers that be, and you know who I'm talking about, they jam the airwaves. I mean, they have their electronic countermeasure aircraft. I know that from my Air Force days. I know what they can do to jam the airwaves, to scramble the signals so you can't get this message. And of course, that's why we offer audio tapes of every program. So if you don't get it through shortwave radio, or the signal doesn't come in good, you can call us up here at the ministry on our toll-free line, which we're going to give you later, and we make audio tapes. And we sell many, many audio tapes, basically at our cost. That's really about all that we get from our audio tapes by the time everything is done, shipping and handling and paying for our broadcast people and the copies, and certainly with our free newsletter and all of that. We just break even on the tapes. But you know, that thwarts the old feds. Okay, break up our signal. We'll get out this message through the audio tapes. And we have a little rule in audio tapes. We copyright every audio tape we do, and we invite you to break our copyright. In other words, folks, if you want to make 1,000 copies of one of our copyrighted programs, we're never going to complain. We just put the copyright on there to make sure the wrong people don't do it, you know, like the feds or somebody. But when you get an audio tape of our programs, I encourage you, we want you at no charge whatsoever to make as many copies as you want of these audio tapes. I know one ministry that says to me, Tex, we have made zillions of copies of your audio tapes, and we've distributed them throughout the whole world. This was a prophecy ministry down in South Florida. And they said, we hope that's all right with you. We've been doing it for about 4 years. And, you know, the head of that ministry was almost like he was afraid to tell me. He was afraid I was going to sue him or something because he had been making copies of our tapes. And I patted him on the back and I said, good job. Keep it going. We want the message out. Well, if you have a ministry or something and you're going to be selling our tapes, would you please let us know? We would like to know that. But if you're going to make them absolutely free and give them out to your friends, you better believe it. We want you to do that. So enough said on that. But thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your love that you've expressed. It's the delight of my day to read your letters that come in here to the ministry. I read each and every letter. And I get very upset when I come in and the mail's not open for that day. You know, because I like to read the letters that come in, and I answer as many as I can. Well, enough of that. I just wanted to thank you. God bless each of you for your support, mainly for your prayers. But obviously, we're in the world, we're not of the world, and I need your financial help too to keep the message going. And we're going to defeat those dark forces because Jesus has already won. Well, and tell you about this book, Bloodlines of the Illuminati. It was done in a very rare, limited edition. I mean, the author, Fritz Springmeier, did it. It was like a great big, well, I'm just going to say it, very rare. I don't know how many copies he made, in the hundreds, maybe 1,000 copies. And it was distributed only among a few Christians and conspiracy buffs around the world. Now, because people were so shocked at what they read, the demand was so heavy, well, I guess Fritz says, okay, I'll I'll put it in a paperback edition so it can have a wider audiences. Now, if you've always wondered about the Illuminati and you've seen pieces of the puzzle, even my book, for example, Circle of Intrigue, you know there's a lot more to discover. My book, Circle of Intrigue or Dark Majesty, barely touches the surface. Well, here's a book that really digs into it, almost 600 pages. It's called Bloodlines of the Illuminati by Fritz Springmeier. We've had Fritz on this program before. You know, he wrote the book The Watchtower and the Masons, an expose of Jehovah's Witnesses, religion, and or false religion, I should say, and its connection with the Masonic Lodge. We still offer that book here in the ministry. You may want to order that book because it's quite revealing. But Fritz has written that book. He's written another book that I hope will be published soon to a wider audience called Be Wise as a Serpent. But this book is out now. It's new because it's the first time it's been in this paperback edition. And I've asked Fritz to come on to tell you a little bit about Bloodlines of the Illuminati. Fritz, welcome to Power of Prophecy.
Thank you, Tex, and hello to all the radio listeners out there.
Well, we've got a lot of them, and I tell you, they're interested in the subject of the bloodlines of the Illuminati. I'm going to put you on the grill here, Fritz. I know you're used to that, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, a lot of people have said things about Fritz, and hey, that's understandable. I mean, you know, you speak truth, you make enemies. But I think there are people who appreciate your research and the depth of your documentation. I know I do. So you have friends too. Now, the Illuminati, we do know, the Encyclopedia Britannica, Collier's Encyclopedia, says that the Illuminati, there was an order of the Illuminati founded in 1776, at least it states that, by a man over in Europe named Adam Weishaupt. But they say that it's been abandoned. There's no such group. Now, do you believe that today there is an Illuminati?
Yes, what you're quoting from, that type of information is in a number of encyclopedias, what you quoted there. It obscures the origin and how the Illuminati is operating today. The Illuminati existed before Adam Weishaupt, which happens to be a pseudonym, that wasn't his actual name, continues to exist to today. It wasn't disbanded like a lot of the encyclopedias would lead us to believe.
Well, I wondered about that. Even the way they say that the governments of Europe found out about it, a guy being struck by lightning while he was bringing a secret cable, or you wonder a lot about those things. Now, the Illuminati, what does the word mean exactly, Illuminati?
Well, as you know, it ties in with what Satan was trying to do in the garden, and that's make people believe that they are God or divine, and someone in the Illuminati is someone who's been illuminated to divinity.
Illuminated. So there we have the illuminated ones. We have Illuminati. Does this have a connection with the Bible identifying Satan as the angel of light?
Yes, it does. The Illuminati, for the most part, are Luciferians. They would not call themselves Satanists, although in practice, once you find out the deeper rituals that they practice, they are actually, in reality, Satanists. But they like to believe, they like to fool themselves into thinking that they're serving Lucifer, the light bearer.
I had a debate one time with a person who was obviously into Satanism, but when I, exposed this fact on radio, we did a radio debate, he says, this shows how stupid you Christians are. He said, we do not worship Satan. Satan is a god created by Christians. We worship Lucifer. He made a distinction between Lucifer and Satan. Does the Illuminati make that same distinction?
Yes, but it's far more complex than that. We're getting into an issue that to give an actual answer, the listeners will have to bear with me. This isn't going to be exactly a 5-second soundbite. It goes into understanding how the Illuminati raise their children. That one of the things that are perpetrated upon their children is a lot of trauma to make them into multiple personalities. And so each of these people's minds have been fragmented, and in the scriptures it says a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. Imagine somebody being triple-minded or 100-fold-minded, and so they will have many different beliefs within one person's head swimming around there. Each of those beliefs is like a fish, then you've got all of these different kinds of fish swimming in different directions. So part of their mind will worship Satan, part of it will worship Lucifer, part of it might even be Christian. You've got such a mishmash in there. And then you have to take into account that as you go up the levels, just like in Freemasonry, what is revealed as truth at one level is then later discarded and a new truth is revealed. According to Freemasonry, you're getting more and more light as you go up the degree system. So initially when you join Freemasonry, they tell you that the G stands for God. Then later it stands for Gnosis, which means knowledge. And then later you're told that it stands for the generative principle, which is the male phallus. And you find yourself worshiping the male phallus, protected by the skin of the lamb. So the same thing happens in the Illuminati as you go through initiations and get deeper into it. You're asked to accept new truths that totally contradict old truths. So what I found from working with people that came out of the Illuminati is that in reality, a lot of these people who